If you're cruising past 60 and starting to feel like your legs just aren't packing the same punch they used to, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. And you're definitely not stuck that way. Because rebuilding leg strength is way easier than most folks realize, especially when you tap into simple movements that work with your body instead of against it. A lot of people hit their senior years thinking they've got to accept slowing down, wobbling a bit more than they want to, or avoiding the stairs like they're some kind of enemy. But honestly, that's old thinking. And today's approach to senior fitness is way more realistic, way more doable, and honestly kind of empowering once you feel your confidence kick back in. You don't need a fancy gym membership, high-priced equipment, or any kind of intense boot camp vibe to get results. You just need a few mobility exercises that wake up those muscles, reignite coordination, and bring back the lower body strength that helps you do everyday stuff without the huffing, puffing, or worrying about what if I lose my balance again. And speaking of that, balance training is one of the most underrated parts of staying strong after 60. It's not only about preventing falls, it's about bringing back that steady, grounded feeling when you step off a curb or carry groceries or bend down to pick something up from the floor without feeling like you're doing some risky stunt. When you start building leg stability even with tiny, controlled movements a few minutes a day, your body responds way faster than you'd think, because the muscles in your legs, quads, hamstrings, calves, hips, were designed to stay active for life. They just need a little nudge to get back online. A lot of people are surprised when they realize how much functional strength they've still got waiting under the surface. It's kind of like the engine's still good. It just hasn't been started in a while. And once you crank it up with easy senior exercises, everything starts running smoother. One of the things folks mention all the time when they start adding these simple movements into their day is how they suddenly feel more in control of their body. Like when they stand up from a low chair and don't have to push off the armrest, or when they take a long walk without their knees begging for mercy halfway through. These aren't big dramatic changes at first. They're subtle wins that stack up fast and tell you that the effort you're putting in is actually paying off. And honestly, that's one of the best kinds of motivation because you're not forcing anything. You're not crushing yourself with workouts that feel like punishment. You're just following practical, science-backed senior health tips that get real results by being consistent, safe, and surprisingly simple. It's kind of funny how the fitness world used to make getting stronger feel like rocket science, but for older adults, the most effective stuff is often the easiest. Slow chair squats, gentle step-ups, ankle lifts, hip openers, standing marches, little balance holds using the kitchen counter, everything that mimics movements your body already does. So your joints aren't screaming and protest while your muscle strength quietly starts rebuilding itself behind the scenes. And the best part? These moves fit into real life. You can knock out a few reps while the coffee's brewing, while you're on the phone with a friend, or even while watching TV, which means you're not rearranging your whole day just to get stronger. The whole point is to make it feel natural, like brushing your teeth or taking your vitamins, so it becomes a routine you don't have to think about. And once your legs start responding, and trust me, you'll notice yourself walking steadier, moving smoother, and just feeling more capable overall, which is a huge deal because independence is priceless. It's not only about being able to do things on your own, but about knowing you can do them without worrying you're gonna twist something, slip, or get worn out halfway through. That peace of mind alone is enough to make these senior exercises worth the few minutes they take each day. Now, a lot of folks don't realize how connected leg strength is to overall health, heart health, circulation, posture, digestion, even mood, because your legs are kind of like the engines that keep everything moving. Stronger legs mean better blood flow, better stability, better endurance, and even a better sense of well-being. When you move your body, your brain lights up with all those feel-good chemicals that make you more alert, more relaxed, and more confident, which is exactly why doctors and therapists push people over 60 to stay active. And look, nobody's saying you've got to run marathons or lift heavy weights to get those benefits. You just have to keep those muscles engaged. It's wild how quickly things can change. Somebody can go from feeling stiff and tired all the time to feeling energized and mobile in a matter of weeks once their legs start waking back up. That's why consistency is everything. Whether you've been active your whole life or you're starting from absolute scratch, these mobility exercises still work. because they're built around natural human movement. Even if you've got bad knees, achy hips, or arthritis trying to slow you down, there are variations for everything, and you can start at your own pace without pushing into pain. The cool part is that once your legs get even a little stronger, everyday things like climbing stairs, getting out of the car, taking long walks, or even just standing for longer periods, stop feeling like chores and start feeling normal again. That sense of, hey, I can actually do this is powerful. And for a lot of seniors, it's exactly what sparks the momentum to stick with the routine. And look, it's never too late to start. Your body is way more adaptable at 60, 70, even 80 plus than people give it credit for. And as long as you keep sending the message that those muscles are needed, they'll keep responding. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to move fast. You don't have to be athletic. You just have to show up for a few minutes each day. Once you make that commitment, even with the simplest exercises, you'll feel the shift happening. You'll stand taller, move easier, walk steadier, and feel more like yourself again. Your legs are your foundation, and rebuilding them is one of the smartest, most empowering things you can do to stay independent, active, and confident as you age. If you want stronger legs, better balance, and more mobility without all the strain, stress, or complicated routines that usually scare people off, then you're absolutely in the right place, because these simple, realistic tips can help you get back to feeling solid, steady, and fully capable in your everyday life. The biggest myth floating around is that you need long, exhausting workouts to see real improvement. But honestly, your body responds far better to consistent, gentle movement than it does to pushing yourself past your limits. When you start with small steps, literally and figuratively, you give your muscles, joints, and nervous system a chance to wake up and relearn movements in a way that feels natural instead of painful. A lot of folks over 60 think their legs are getting weaker because of age alone, but it's really an activity that does the most damage. Your leg muscles, especially the ones that control balance, stability, and posture, are constantly adapting to what you do during the day. If you move less, they weaken. If you move more, even just a little at a time, they start coming back to life. And once those muscles start waking up again, everything gets easier. Getting out of chairs, climbing stairs, walking longer distances, bending down, standing up, and even doing simple chores around the house. The cool part is that your body doesn't care how old you are. It cares how often you remind it that it still needs to stay strong and mobile. Even 5 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference when you stay consistent. One of the reasons easy exercises work so well is that they focus on the muscles you rely on constantly but rarely think about, like the stabilizers in your hips, ankles, and core. These muscles control your balance, and when they're weak, you start feeling wobbly or unsure on your feet. But when you strengthen them with small, slow, controlled movements, you rebuild confidence in your steps without even realizing it. A simple standing march, for example, can fire up your hip flexors, wake up your core, and remind your body how to lift your legs properly. A basic chair squat can improve your thigh strength, knee stability, and ability to stand up without pushing off your hands. These are everyday movements disguised as exercises, and that's exactly why they work so well. They train you for life, not the gym. And the best part is you don't have to rush, strain, or force anything. Just a few easy reps done regularly. Tell your body that you still need power in those legs, and your muscles respond faster than you might expect. Another great thing about these routines is how flexible they are. You don't need special equipment, fancy shoes, or a designated workout space. You can do them in your bedroom, at the kitchen counter, in the living room, or even while waiting for water to boil. This makes it easier to stick with the habits because you're fitting them into moments that already exist in your day, and because they're low impact, they're gentle on your joints, meaning you can do them even if you got arthritis, stiffness, or old injuries. Nothing here is about pushing past pain, just about waking things up. As you build strength, your circulation improves too, which helps reduce swelling, stiffness, and that heavy feeling some people get in their legs after sitting too long. Better blood flow also means more energy, which is why so many people feel more awake and lively after just a week or two of moving more. The mental benefits are huge too. When your body starts feeling stronger, your confidence gets a major boost. Walking into the grocery store doesn't feel like a chore anymore. Moving around the house feels smoother. You're less worried about tripping, slipping, or losing your balance. And that peace of mind is priceless, because fear of falling is something that keeps a lot of older adults from staying active, even though staying Active is the very thing that prevents falls. It's a cycle, and once you break it, everything starts improving at once. You start trusting your legs again, and that trust shows up in every step you take. Before long, you're doing things you thought you had to give up: long walks, gardening, playing with grandkids, traveling, or even just running errands, without needing to stop and rest all the time. What makes these tips so effective is that they're based on real movement, not complicated fitness routines that don't match your lifestyle. You don't need to sweat buckets, breathe like you're running a marathon, or track your heart rate. You just need to keep moving in ways that feel good. Little by little, your legs get stronger, your balance gets steadier, and your mobility increases, all without overwhelming your body or your schedule. And once you start feeling those changes, you'll realize you're not just building stronger legs, you're building a stronger life. The ease, freedom, and confidence that come with better mobility spill into everything you do, making each day feel more manageable and more enjoyable. So if you're ready to feel more grounded, more energetic, and more capable, these simple daily movements are your golden ticket right back to feeling like yourself again, steady, strong, and ready for anything.